Across the vast expanse of time, mythologies have forged the world. From the depths of chaos to the flames of distant realms, every culture has woven tales of gods, heroes, and celestial wonders. Welcome to Myth2Myth, your mythological portal. Subscribe for more epic journeys. Visit myth2myth.com and discover all our products. When grief yields to hunger, and the earth has barely recovered from Demeter's wrath, a new thunder stirs. The last episode closed with Persephone taking her place as queen of the underworld, and the promise of cycles renewed. Yet the seat of the 12th Olympian remains empty, shrouded in vines that glimmer with an unearthly light. Above, the sky feels taut, as if awaiting an unseen eruption. In a palace in Thebes, far from Olympus, a young princess named Semele has become pregnant by Zeus. Whispers of prophecy swirl through the halls, a child born of mortal, and God will usher in a divine upheaval. Hera watches with simmering jealousy. In visions, the Titaness Themis has foreseen a god of ecstasy who will come, a being whose coming will shake city and mountain, restraint and holy frenzy. Demigods, heroes, and mortals go about their lives unaware that the next breath they take will belong to an age about to be invaded by wine, song, and holy frenzy. As lightning flickers on the horizon, vines from the empty throne wind themselves tighter. The prophecy is not a story, it is a seed. When it breaks, the world must decide whether to blossom or burn. Semele, daughter of Cadmus and Harmonia, sits in her chamber at Thebes beneath frescoes of her father's victories. She holds her swelling belly and watches the ripening of grapes outside her window. Zeus has visited her in secret, cloaked as a mortal lover, whispering words that thrum like thunder. Hera, already watchful, disguises herself as an old nurse, wrinkled and soothing. She visits Semele, feigning concern and planting doubt. If he is truly Zeus, she purrs, make him show himself in his full splendor. No mortal should bear a god's child without knowing his glory. Hera's words coil like serpents in Semele's mind. When her divine lover appears again, she begs him to reveal his true form. Zeus balks. Promises once made to mortals cannot be withdrawn, even by gods. Bound by oath, he reveals his lightning-swathed magnificence. In an instant, the chamber becomes day and night at once. Semele's mortal eyes cannot endure it. She burns, consumed by the radiance she has demanded. The palace shakes. Cadmus hears his daughter's scream and rushes, but when he bursts in, he sees only ash and a knot of charred vines. Yet the place does not go dark. A sacred fire still lingers there, as though Semele's ruin has not wholly released the house. Amid the smoldering remains lies a still moving spark, the unborn god, not yet lost. Hera's envy has not prevented the birth. Instead, she has created a new tension, a divine seed bereft of womb, pulsing with life but without protection. As Zeus collects the tiny body, tears glistening among lightning, and gathers it in silence, the prophecy of Themis begins to take shape. Zeus cradles the premature child in his palm. The god's form is still unformed, its skin translucent and shimmering like dew. Hermes appears at his father's side, summoned by urgency. No sanctuary built by mortals can protect this child from Hera's wrath. Zeus opens his own thigh and seals the child within it, a wound of god flesh closing around the infant like a hidden womb. He slips the infant into the wound, tucking him next to divine bone and muscle. His thigh closes around the baby like a womb of living lightning. The pain is immense, yet Zeus does not flinch, his brow beads with stars. For months he limps through Olympus, disguising his gait as weight carried from battles long past. The vines around the empty throne on Olympus glow brighter with each passing day. They twist and bloom with grapes, despite the absence of soil or sun. When the time comes, Zeus opens his thigh and pulls forth a fully formed child, radiant and newly born. The infant wails, but his cry is not of pain. It is a clear, sweet note, like the first note of a flute, and with it a vine unfurls from the wound, trailing leaves and clusters. Dionysus, born from a mortal and reborn from Zeus, lies in his father's arms. His skin is olive and luminous, his eyes dark with ancient memory and future mischief. The gods gather, marveling at this being whose very existence defies the boundaries between mortal and divine. Hera clenches her jaw, but prophecy cannot be undone. Somewhere in Thebes, the ground shivers. Zeus cannot raise this child in Olympus under Hera's gaze, so he calls Hermes. The fleet-footed god swaddles the infant in grape leaves and speeds away. He reaches the hidden valley of Nysa, a place between worlds where nymphs guard springs that mortals never see. There, among ancient pines and singing streams, the baby is received by the nymphs of Nysa and their sisters. They coo at the child and swear to protect him. Silenus, rotund and wise, lingers at the edge of this hidden world. In time, he will become the god's tutor, and even now, he senses the aura of something new. The nymphs nurse Dionysus with goat's milk and honey, and nectar from wildflowers is dripped into his mouth. Bees circle his cradle and alight on his lips without stinging. His fingers reach instinctively for grapes. Vines sprout from the cavern floor and climb the columns of rock, bearing fruit even in darkness. The infant laughs when satyrs, goat-legged creatures with mischievous faces, appear and dance clumsily. The nymphs teach him to walk by coaxing him toward a pool, then letting him fall, laughing into the water. Every tumble sends ripples of intoxication through the forest. As Dionysus grows, the valley changes. Leaves shimmer silver, the air is always a little sweet, and birds sing melodies that make shepherds forget their flocks. Hidden from Hera's gaze, the godchild learns to harness joy and abandon, to draw wine from earth and ecstasy from song. Yet danger lurks even here. Old stories whisper of other children raised in secret only to be found. The lesson will come soon. Bliss invites envy, and revels call adversaries. One day, Hermes returns to Nysa in haste. The nymphs know he only runs like that when storms approach. Hera's spies have learned of the child's sanctuary. Zeus devises another concealment. He sends Dionysus to his aunt Ino and her husband Athamas, king of Orchomenus. Ino, sister of Semele, has her own children and little trust in her brother-in-law's gods. Nevertheless, she takes the boy, dresses him as a girl, and claims he is a daughter to all who ask. Athena's loom cannot weave a better disguise than Ino's love, but Hera's jealousy pierces veils. The goddess curses Ino's household with madness. Athamas, gripped by delusion, believes his son Lycurgus is a stag and hunts him through the palace. He kills the boy with his own hands, thinking he has felled the quarry, then looks down to see the lifeless child and wails. Phino hears her husband's cries and sees his bloodied hands. Her mind cracks. She snatches her other son, the infant Melicertes, and flees to a cliff above the sea. "Better to be waves than prey," she whispers and leaps. The sea embraces them. Phino and her son are transformed by the gods into sea deities. She becomes Leucothea, a white goddess who aids sailors, and he becomes Palamon, a child of the sea who guides ships through storms. Hera smiles at the pain she has sown, but Zeus spirits Dionysus away just in time. This act of madness roots itself into the mythic soil of Greece. It teaches Dionysus that his presence inspires both love and destruction, that his path will be littered with ruined households and saved souls. The godling, still disguised as a girl, sees the cost of hiding and resolves to be hidden no longer. Years pass. Dionysus grows into a youth not yet crowned with ivy but already graceful. Silenus and the satyrs teach him the secrets of the wild. He learns the rhythms that awaken trees and make animals dance. He listens to Pan's flute among the reeds and drums his fingers on rock in response. He travels beyond Nysa, venturing eastward through Phrygia and Lydia, where the great mother Cybele presides over ecstatic rites with cymbals and tambourines. Dionysus marvels at mortals who willingly surrender to divine frenzy, draping themselves in fawn skins and dancing until they drop. He learns that ecstasy need not be hidden, it can be celebrated openly. In Phrygia, he befriends a king named Midas, who receives the aged Silenus when he wanders drunk into the palace. The king returns Silenus to his pupil without asking for reward. Dionysus, grateful, does not forget the kindness. The bond between god and king is sealed in hospitality, and the matter of repayment is left for another day. For now, the young god continues his wandering. In the sound of drums, in the clash of cymbals, in the reed song of Pan and the mountain rites of Cybele, he begins to understand the shape of his own domain. Joy can be wild without being formless. Frenzy can be sacred without being hidden. And the god who was once concealed from Hera's wrath now sees that there are lands where ecstasy does not need to whisper from caves, but can rise openly beneath the sky. On a bright morning, with waves glittering like liquid glass, Dionysus sets sail alone from a lonely shore. He disguises himself as a handsome youth to test the hearts of mortals. A Tyrrhenian ship with black sails spies him on the open sea. The sailors whisper greedily, "Here is a prince to ransom or sell." They haul him aboard, bind his hands to the mast and laugh at his calm demeanor. Only the helmsman Acoetes hesitates. He looks into the youth's eyes and senses something otherworldly. As the pirates set their course, a strange sweetness fills the air. Vines curl around the mast, budding leaves and clusters of grapes. Wine trickles down the planks. Dionysus shakes his bound wrists, and a lion appears at the prow. A bear lumbers up from below deck. The sailors scream and leap overboard. Their limbs shrink, their skin smooths. They plunge as men and surface as dolphins. They circle the ship, clicking and singing, exulting in their new form. Acoetes alone remains human. Dionysus loosens his own bonds without force and steps free. He smiles and thanks the helmsman for his faith. "You believed," he says. "Serve me and tell the world what you saw." Acoetes kneels and becomes the god's first priest, carrying this story to every port. From that day on, sailors carve dolphins on their ships and pour a libation to Dionysus before casting off, remembering how the sea itself became his stage and a Thyasos of dolphins his first chorus. After rescuing Silenus and punishing the pirates, Dionysus returns to Phrygia to honor his debt to King Midas. The event begins as celebration and ends as a cautionary tale. Dionysus arrives at Midas's palace with a thyrsus, a staff wound with ivy and topped with a pine cone. Satyrs dance, nymphs pour wine. The king reclines, comfortable in his wealth. When Dionysus thanks him for his hospitality and offers any boon, Midas chooses greed over grace. "Grant that whatever I touch become gold," he says. The court gasps, some with awe, others with fear. Dionysus's smile fades. "Are you certain?" he asks. Midas nods, eyes shining. Dionysus touches the king's hands. The gift flows. Midas runs to a rosebush. Petals stiffen into gleaming metal at his touch. He touches a platter. Bread turns to gold. Laughter fills the hall until Midas raises his goblet to drink, and wine becomes molten gold, burning his lips. He reaches to embrace his daughter, and she stiffens, her skin turning cold and yellow beneath his fingers. Horror replaces joy. He falls to the floor, weeping for what his wish has wrought. Dionysus watches, his eyes sad. He instructs Midas to go to the river Pactolus and wash away the gift. The king obeys, plunges his hands into the flowing water, and watches as golden grains swirl away downstream, embedding in the river's bed. He returns to his daughter and weeps as she breathes again. This episode spreads across Asia Minor and Hellas. It teaches mortals to be careful what they ask of gods. Dionysus, though a god of indulgence, despises insatiable greed. For him, wealth is wine shared among companions, not metal hoarded at home. Not all rulers are as fortunate or as teachable as Midas. In Thrace, a king named Lycurgus hears of Dionysus's wanderings and vows to expel this foreign Thyasos from his lands. He fears the foreign rites, the loosening of household order, and the vines that threaten his rule. When Dionysus arrives with satyrs and Maenads, Lycurgus charges out, axe raised, cursing the god as a charlatan. He strikes at the thyrsus, slashing vines and trampling grapes. Dionysus retreats to the sea, seeking refuge in Thetis' arms beneath the waves, leaving his followers to scatter. The Maenads flee into forests, the satyrs hide in caves. Hera, however, does not orchestrate this moment. She watches. Zeus, offended by the insult to his son, sends madness to Lycurgus. Madness falls on the king, and in his frenzy he mistakes his own son for a vine and hacks him down. When the fog lifts, he sees blood on his hands. The land itself turns barren, and his people seeking release from the curse bind him and drag him to Mount Pangaeon, where wild horses tear him apart. His story joins the repertoire of cautionary tales told around hearths. Resist Dionysus at your peril. The memory of Lycurgus echoes in the minds of those who later watch Pentheus. Silenus himself recounts this tale to Dionysus as they sit beneath fig trees in Nysa, reminding the young god that not all enemies can be persuaded by wine and song. Some must be broken by the consequences of their own violence. The Thyrsus learns to move like water. If blocked in one direction, it will flow in another until eventually even stone yields. Dionysus's wanderings bring him at last to the city of his birth. The vines entwined around the 12th throne at Olympus have blossomed, but the seat is still empty. Themis' prophecy demands fulfillment. Thebes, founded by Cadmus, stands proud with thick walls raised by the lineage born from the dragon's teeth. Cadmus has aged. His wife Harmonia's beauty has faded into gentle lines. Their daughters have borne tragedies: Semele consumed by lightning, Ino drowned into the sea, Autonoe bereft of her son Actaeon, torn apart by his own hounds for seeing Artemis bathe. Only Agave remains in Thebes with her son Pentheus, now king. Pentheus' father Iacchon, one of the Spartoi who sprang from the dragon's teeth sown by Cadmus, is long dead, leaving mother and son as the last of that warrior lineage. Dionysus enters the city disguised as a youthful priest with long curls and a foreign cloak. His feet are bare, his thyrsus wrapped in ivy. He is accompanied by a chorus of foreign women, Maenads from Lydia and Phrygia, whose eyes shine with devotion. They set up altars outside the city and begin singing hymns of release and union. Cadmus watches from his palace window and remembers the wound Semele's burning left in his house. A god born from his line has returned. Tiresias, the blind seer who has lived as both man and woman, emerges from his home. He sniffs the air and smiles. He has come, he whispers. He puts on a fawn skin, picks up a thyrsus and invites Cadmus to join the rites. The old king hesitates, but the memory of his daughter's fates and the aching emptiness in his heart compel him. He decides to honor his grandson. Wrapped in ivy, the two elders set out toward Mount Cithaeron, leaving behind the comfort of walls. Dionysus watches them go, his eyes soft with affection and mischief. As they depart, Achates, once a pirate saved by the god, speaks in the agora of vines twining around masts and men turned into dolphins, but Pentheus will not listen. Dionysus knows the elder's acceptance will stand in stark contrast to the reaction he will soon evoke in the king. On the slopes of Mount Cithaeron, Cadmus and Tiresias weave through pine and oak, their steps slower than the younger women's but sure in their resolve. Cadmus ties ivy around his forehead, laughing at the absurdity of an old king dressed as a reveler. Tiresias taps the ground with his staff, guiding them. He recounts how he was transformed into a woman for 7 years after striking 2 serpents entwined. He has seen the world through both sets of eyes and knows the power of yielding to divine will. They recall how Actaeon was torn apart by his own hounds after glimpsing Artemis unrobed, a cautionary tale about the consequences of gazing upon what is forbidden. Better to be part of the god's game, Tiresias says, than to be devoured for resisting. Cadmus agrees. They reach a clearing where Maenads dance. Dionysus watches them approach and smiles. He welcomes them with open arms, calls them blessed for acknowledging him. He places a wreath of ivy on Cadmus's head and another on Tiresias's. "You honor your blood," he tells Cadmus, "and you honor your vision," he tells Tiresias. They join the dance with the energy of youth. Their hips sway, their feet move with surprising agility. They raise their thyrsi and shout, "Ahoy!" Their voices carry across ravines and into the palace of Pentheus, who hears the cry and trembles with anger. In this moment, the god receives old and young alike when they honor him. The god's Thyasos is not about age or status, it is about surrender to something beyond the self. This is a lesson Pentheus will refuse to learn. Pentheus, youthful king of Thebes, sits on his high seat when servants bring news that his grandfather and the wise seer have donned fawn skins and danced with strangers on the mountain. His jaw clenches. He sees this new Thyasos as a threat to his authority and to the order of the city. In his mind, the city must remain enclosed, ordered, and ruled by its own laws. Dionysus' rights, where men wear women's clothes and women run wild, defy everything he holds dear. He sends guards to arrest the stranger who leads the Thyasos. The guards find Dionysus near the outskirts of the city, his hair loose, his eyes bright. They bind his hands with rope, though he does not resist. They drag him through the streets, past wide-eyed citizens into Pentheus's presence. The king demands the stranger's name and lineage. Dionysus smiles and tells the truth. He is the son of Semele and Zeus, returned to claim his honor. Pentheus laughs and calls him mad. The god replies calmly that madness lies in denying the gods. "You mock what you do not understand," he tells the king. Pentheus orders him imprisoned in the palace stables and sealed behind iron bars. As soon as Dionysus is locked away, the palace begins to quake. Lightning flashes through the stables. Bulls bellow with the voice of lions. The smell of wine fills the air. Dionysus walks through the bars as if through smoke. The rope falls from his wrists as ivy sprouts from the knots. He appears behind Pentheus's throne while the king still thinks him locked away. Pentheus leaps up, startled. "You cannot bind what is unbound," Dionysus warns. "You can either join me or be destroyed by your own resistance." The king hears but cannot believe. He orders reinforcements. They surround Dionysus, but their resolve falters, and their eyes blur with wine. They fall to the floor laughing and crying. The god leaves the palace, headed for the mountain again. Pentheus seethes. His pride will not let him yield. He plots an act of control that will lead to his own undoing. Word spreads that the stranger has escaped unbound. Women who have been confined in Thebes all their lives slip out of their homes and follow the call of pipes and drums to Mount Cithaeron. Among them is Agave, Pentheus' own mother, unaware that she is walking toward tragedy. Dionysus appears in the marketplace, seemingly at once in several places. He invites everyone to leave behind their weaving, their plows, their law courts, and come taste liberation. Some laugh and join, others scoff. Children run after him, plucking grapes from vines that appear and vanish again. Men feel a tremor in their chests and shake it off. That night, Thebes trembles. Rumors spread from the mountain. There, wine and honey appear where none were carried, and wild beasts move among the worshippers without harm. Those who join the rites on the mountain experience ecstasy. They dance until dawn, they cradle fawns and wolf cubs without being bitten. They suckle milk from wild mares. Dionysus reveals himself to them not in thunder, but in the shimmering of leaves, in the syncopated drum beats that align with their heartbeats. He teaches them songs of Asia and rhythms of the Phrygian tympanon. He shows them the mask, a face of clay with painted eyes and open mouth, that when worn allows mortals to channel other lives. This simple object will soon birth a new art form. He reveals mysteries but always holds something back. "To know me fully is to be me," he says, "and no mortal can endure that." The Thebans who do not join whisper about secret rites and dangerous frenzy. They choose fear over curiosity. Pentheus' anger grows, fueled by rumors he cannot understand. By moonlight, The Maenads gather on a high plateau of Mount Cithaeron. They wear fawn skins draped over their shoulders, their hair loosed and crowned with ivy. In their hands they carry thyrsi tipped with fir cones bound with ribbons. They circle around a fire singing Euhoi, Bakchos, Bromios, Liaios, Eleutherios, epithets of Dionysus that recall his cries at birth, his epiphany at sea, his roaring essence, his liberating power, and his role as the bringer of freedom. The chorus of voices blends with the hoots of owls and the whisper of pines. The air is thick with incense of myrrh and frankincense. Some women nurse wolf cubs and fawns, who suckle contentedly. Others tear raw meat from a bull sacrificed earlier, symbolizing the tearing of boundaries, yet they do so reverently, offering pieces to the earth and to each other. They move in spirals, stamping their feet to the beat of drums, tambourines, and the deep hum of pipes. Their eyes are bright, not glazed. Ecstasy is not frenzy, but clarity. The Maenads embody the freedom of leaving behind domestic constraints and the joy of belonging to something larger than themselves. Among them dance Agave and Autonoe, daughters of Cadmus, unaware that their fervor will soon be weaponized. On the edge of the clearing, Cadmus and Tiresias, both adorned with wreaths, watch and dance. They are clumsy but earnest. Dionysus appears at the edge of the circle, his thyrsus held aloft. He leads the chant of Bakchos Bakchos in a high, clear voice. The sound seems to carry far beyond Cithaeron, as though the mountain itself were answering the cry. For a moment, the rites feel older than any single city, wider than any single name. When the chant ends, the fire crackles. The mountain breathes. The boundaries between human and animal, male and female, mortal and divine, blur. The scene glows with sacred release. Around the same fire, after the women have danced themselves into calm, Tiresias begins to speak. The old seer sits cross-legged, thyrsus resting across his knees. "Listen," he says, "to the pattern of stories. There was a time when Orion boasted and was struck down, when Niobe mocked Leto and lost all her children, when Actaeon spied a goddess and was torn apart. Resistance to the gods leads to ruin. Respect is not submission, it is wisdom." Cadmus nods. He adds his own tale. "When I slew the dragon of Ares and sowed its teeth, armed men sprang from the ground and fought until only 5 remained. Those 5 built Thebes. From violence came a city, but we have not learned that creation and destruction walk together." He looks at his daughters, their eyes shining in the firelight. "This god is of our blood. To deny him is to deny ourselves." Agave nods, tears on her cheeks, her hands clasping the thyrsus as if it is an anchor. Autonoe remembers Actaeon and squeezes her eyes shut. Tiresias speaks again. "Thebes has a choice, join the dance or be trampled by it." He addresses not just those around the fire, but the winds that carry his voice down to Thebes and into Pentheus's dreams. Dionysus listens silently, gratified that his elders understand. The moment is heavy with foreknowledge. The chorus of elders provides a frame. Acceptance of the god is not weakness, but a recognition of the order underlying chaos. Their words prepare the audience for the clash between youthful arrogance and ancient wisdom soon to come. Back in Thebes, Pentheus cannot sleep. He paces his chamber, his cloak discarded, his hair disheveled. His mind is a battlefield between curiosity and contempt. He cannot understand how his own mother could abandon him to dance on a mountain. He cannot accept that his aged grandfather would prance in fawn skins. And yet he is fascinated by the rumors of what happens in Dionysus's rites. He calls for the stranger to be brought before him once more, thinking to interrogate him. Dionysus appears, unbound, smiling. The king asks about the rites, the songs, the women. The god weaves his answers like a spider spins a web, truthful yet tantalizing. He describes women nursing wolves, men forgetting their pain, old age dancing with youth. He speaks of a vine that blooms in winter and of a thyrsus that can split a rock. He hints that those who watch the rites unseen will see things they cannot bear. Pentheus's curiosity outweighs his caution. Dionysus offers to guide him to the Maenads if he disguises himself in their garb. Pentheus balks. He, a king, wearing a dress. Dionysus insists softly that it is the only way to understand. You cannot stand outside and expect to know, he says. If your courage is as great as you claim, a disguise will not shame you. Humiliation stings, but curiosity burns more. Pentheus agrees. Dionysus dresses him in a long chiton and fawn skin, ties his hair in curls, and places a wreath of ivy on his head. He hands him a thyrsus. Pentheus scowls at his reflection, but sees a softening of his features that he had never noticed. He does not know that his transformation is symbolic. He is crossing a boundary, yet he believes he controls the crossing. He cannot foresee that the boundary is a precipice. Dionysus leads Pentheus through the woods toward Cithaeron. The king stumbles on roots, unused to walking in sandals and long robes. Dionysus suppresses a smile, but his eyes glint with something ancient. They arrive at a pine tree overlooking the Maenads' clearing. Dionysus bends the pine and helps Pentheus climb. The king scrambles up, gripping branches with smooth hands. From this height he sees his mother and aunts dancing, their hair free, their faces radiant. He hears music unlike any in his palace, syncopated, hypnotic. A strange agitation stirs in him, and he cannot master it. The thyrsus in his hand trembles. Dionysus calls out to the Maenads, his voice disguised as wind. He points to the tree. "Look, a spy," he cries. The women pause, their eyes narrow. They see the man in women's clothes and mistake him for a wild beast. Dionysus amplifies their vision. They believe they see a mountain lion perched in the tree. Agave screams, "A lion has come to devour our young." Autonoe grabs her thyrsus and charges. The women swarm the tree like bees. They shake it with preternatural strength, and Pentheus clings, crying out. They tear his limbs one by one, each believing she is defending her child from a beast. Agave, lost in divine frenzy, seizes her son's head and wrenches it free. The leaves whirl as Agave lifts the severed head in terrible triumph. Dionysus watches with a face unreadable, compassion and severity mixed. He does not stop them. This is his judgment. The scene is not gore but tragedy. The violence is suggested through cries and shadows, the tearing obscured by swirling leaves and the shouts of the chorus. We see only Agave's radiant, distorted face as she holds the head. The punishment is inflicted by those who love Pentheus most, under the god's spell. Madness has claimed arrogance. The cost of refusing ecstasy is destruction at the hands of ecstasy. The dawn after the sparagmos paints the mountains in silver and pink. Agave descends toward Thebes, clutching what she still believes is a lion's head, thyrsus in her other hand, her eyes glazed with bliss. She bursts into the courtyard of Cadmus and Harmonia, shouting triumphantly. Cadmus looks up and freezes. In his daughter's hands, he recognizes his grandson's features. "Mother, behold your trophy," Agave exclaims. "We hunted the beast that threatened our children." Cadmus's voice breaks. "Look closely, my child." Confusion creeps across Agave's face. The glamour lifts slowly like morning fog. She sees human hair, human eyes, the curve of her son's lip. Her mouth opens in a silent scream. She drops the head, staggers back and falls. Her robes tangle. She shrieks, tears her hair and beats her chest. Harmonia covers her mouth, tears spilling. Tiresias leans on his staff and shakes his head with sorrow. "This," he murmurs, "is the price of blindness before a god." Agave cannot fathom her guilt. Dionysus appears in the courtyard, no longer disguised. His hair glows with ivy and stars. His skin shimmers like dusk. He speaks calmly. "You mocked my rights, you spied on my secrets, you cast me out of my own house. Now you see what it means to deny a god his due." He turns to Cadmus. "You, grandfather, have honored me, but your line is not exempt from consequence. You will roam the world as a serpent, with Harmonia at your side. Your house honored me too late, and grief will not pass it by." Cadmus bows his head. He understands that even kings cannot choose which gods to obey. Dionysus looks at Agave one last time. Go into exile, wander. She staggers away, sobbing, carrying the weight of her son's blood. Thebes will remember this day whenever they see ivy creeping up stone walls or hear the distant beat of drums. The tragedy will echo down through Oedipus's and Antigone's stories, seeds of sorrow planted by a god of joy. After Pentheus's death, Thebes is still. Citizens whisper behind closed doors, fearful of the god's wrath. Dionysus stands in the agora, vines curling up the pillars around him. He pronounces judgment in a voice that is both song and storm. Let it be known, he declares, that those who honor me will dance and drink in my presence. Those who deny me will know madness and loss. Let Thebes remember, I am not only wine and laughter, I am also the ruin that follows impiety. He turns to Cadmus and Harmonia and touches their foreheads. They feel their limbs loosen, their skin cool. They fall and coil, scales replacing skin. They transform into great serpents, their eyes human, their movements sinuous. Dionysus lifts them gently and sets them in a chestnut grove. Your time of rule is over, he tells them, but your story continues. You will wander as serpents in Illyria. One day your story will be remembered, even in distant journeys. He then releases the survivors of his vengeance, commanding Agave, Autonoe, and their sisters to leave Thebes and never look back. The women stagger out of the gates, their hair matted with tears and dirt. Their exile will carry the god's name far and wide. Thebes, left without its royal house, will be vulnerable to future tragedies. Dionysus does not stay to revel in the city's grief. He has fulfilled the prophecy. He picks up his thyrsus and steps toward the hills. At the top of Cithaeron, he turns and looks back at Thebes one last time. Remember, he whispers. The wind carries the word through empty streets. Leaves rustle, dogs howl. The god of invasion leaves behind a city invaded by its own nightmares. After judging Thebes, Dionysus turns his gaze inward. He remembers his mother lying in ashes, a mortal burned by divine light. He resolves to fulfill another promise, to bring Semele to Olympus. He travels to the southern tip of the Peloponnese to Typhon, where the earth opens to the underworld. Satyrs and Maenads beg to accompany him, but he waves them away. This path is mine, he says. He descends alone, thyrsus in hand. The air grows cold, the light dims. He crosses the river Acheron in Charon's boat, and Charon ferries him across, recognizing the son of Zeus. The ferryman's skeletal hand trembles at the touch of the god of life. He passes through the asphodel meadows, where ordinary souls wander like reeds in the wind. He enters the halls of judgment, where Minos, Rhadamanthus, and Iacchus sit in stern silence. They recognize him and nod. The judges know why he has come, and Semele is brought forth from among the shades. The mortal woman emerges, her face pale from years among the shades. She sees her son now radiant with vines and stars, and tears fill her eyes. She reaches out with trembling hands. Dionysus embraces her. He leads her upward, past fields of punishment where Tantalus strains for fruit and Sisyphus pushes his rock. As they climb, Semele's form brightens. By the time they emerge into sunlight, her mortal skin has transformed into luminous divinity. On Olympus, Hera frowns, but Zeus receives Semele among the immortals. Zeus welcomes Semele to the table, giving her a seat beside Dionysus. She becomes Thyone, the Roaring One, a goddess of frenzy in her own right. Dionysus sits on the empty throne. The vines that once twined around it burst into bloom, weaving themselves into his wreath. The prophecy of Themis is fulfilled. The Council of 12 is complete at last. A new balance is achieved. A god born of a mortal woman now sits among the immortals, bridging worlds. Dionysus's ascension to Olympus is unlike any enthronement before. There is no weapon raised, no giant felled. There is only a vine creeping up the leg of an empty chair. and a god who has earned his seat, not by slaying monsters, but by embracing joy and justice. Hera glowers, still bitter, but she cannot contest Zeus's decree or fate's design. Poseidon lifts his trident in salute. Athena regards her new brother with measured eyes, noting that his madness complements her wisdom. Apollo tunes his lyre, intrigued by the new music that will soon challenge his hymns. Artemis nods once, respecting the wildness she sees mirrored. Ares smirks, unsure whether to laugh or sharpen his spear. Hermes grins, recalling the secret he kept. Hephaestus admires the craftsmanship of the vines weaving through divine marble. Demeter smiles faintly, sensing the link between wine and grain. Hestia stokes the hearth, ensuring the new occupant feels warmth at the council table. Dionysus takes his seat. His thyrsus leans against the armrest. His wreath of ivy glints. He does not look triumphant. He looks content, aware that the true work lies not in claiming a throne, but in guiding the mortal world through ecstasy and terror. He thanks his siblings, raises a cup and pours the first libation upon the floor of Olympus. The wine flows into cracks and disappears, carrying with it a promise. He will never forget the earth that bore him and the mortals who worship him. The Olympians toast to his arrival. The feasting begins. Pan plays his pipes. Apollo strums his lyre. The muses sing. For the first time, Olympus rings with laughter that has no fear of punishment. The circle of the 12 is complete but not settled. The seeds of the next upheaval already stir under Etna's crust. Between feats of divine justice and tasks of cosmic significance, Dionysus still feels the pull of mortal hearts. After his enthronement, he travels to the island of Naxos. There, on a rocky shore bathed in moonlight, he finds Ariadne asleep. She has been abandoned by Theseus, the hero who slew the Minotaur with her help and then sailed away while she slept. Tears glisten on her cheeks. Dionysus kneels beside her and gently wakes her. She jolts, then sees his face, at once youthful and ancient, and feels no fear. He comforts her. He tells her she has been wronged by a man who took her love and knowledge and repaid her with abandonment. He offers her not pity, but partnership. They talk through the night, and in time she becomes his bride. Ariadne, still hurt but moved by his sincerity, accepts. Dionysus takes a radiant crown and places it on her head. The wreath flashes like starlight. Their wedding is celebrated on Naxos with music, dance, and wine. The Maenads toast the union. When Ariadne dies, Dionysus will place this crown into the heavens as the constellation Corona Borealis, but that is for another era. For now, her story laces with his. Her fate shows that the god of ecstasy is also a god of compassion, giving sanctuary and love to those cast aside by heroes. In the quiet of their vows, we see that Dionysus's realm includes not just wild frenzy, but also tender redemption. After his marriage, Dionysus travels to Eleusis, where the mysteries of Demeter and Persephone have recently been revealed. The initiates there drink kykeon, walk in torchlight, and learn secrets that promise hope beyond death. Demeter and Persephone greet Dionysus as kin. They recognize him as Iacchus, the youthful guide who leads initiates in the procession. The Maenads chant his name, Iacchus, Iacchus, as part of their rites. Dionysus stands at the threshold of the Telesterion, the hall of initiation. He does not reveal his full secrets, but he shares with the Mystai, initiates, a hymn of joy and the promise of divine nearness through rite. He explains that wine poured into the earth becomes the blood of the vine again. In this meeting of his rites with Demeter's, a ritual kinship takes shape. Through ecstasy and through sacred rite, mortals may touch the divine and find hope beyond the grave. This link between Dionysus and Eleusis will grow in later centuries. Here it is planted as a seed. The torches flicker. The gods of grain and grape share a smile. In the blend of wine and kykeon, mortals taste both oblivion and resurrection. The mysteries will nurture philosophers and poets. Dionysus ensures that While his myths are full of violence and madness, his Thyasos also offers solace and structure. When initiates leave Eleusis at dawn, their eyes shine with a brightness that no king can dim. They will carry new whispers, that Iacchus is not just the cry at the Bacchic revels, but a bridge across the abyss. As his rites spread, Dionysus bestows one final gift that will change human culture forever. In a clearing near the foot of Cithaeron, he gathers shepherds and farmers. He holds up a clay face, simple, with wide painted eyes and an open mouth. This is a prosopon, he declares, a mask. He explains that when a person wears it and speaks, the voice that emerges is not entirely his own. It is channeled through another being, god, hero, or myth. He hands the mask to a shepherd. The man puts it on and begins to recite the story of his flock, as though another voice had entered him, as if he were the god Pan. His neighbors laugh and gasp. When he removes the mask, they applaud. Dionysus teaches them to step onto an improvised stage, to answer the solo voice with a chorus, to weave narrative through song and speech. In ages to come, such rites will grow into drama. This is the seed of theatre. It will grow in sacred groves across Hellas, where mortals will one day honor me with song and story, retelling the myths of gods and heroes, even those of Thebes. The god does not dictate content. He gives the framework and inspires. He smiles as the first actor tells a story while wearing the mask. He knows that through this art, mortals will examine their own tragedies and joys, will confront hubris and catharsis, will learn empathy by inhabiting others' lives. The mask is a ritual object and a cultural tool. It is both sacred and popular. Dionysus's domain expands from forests and mountains to city theaters, from night-long revels to structured festivals. He does not mind. Joy has many faces, so does truth. The first mask gazes blankly, its eyes wide open, watching the future unfold. We return briefly to King Midas to illustrate another facet of Dionysus's influence. Secrets cannot be contained. After the golden touch is washed away, Midas listens to a musical contest between Apollo and Pan and rejects the better judgment, preferring Pan's rustic piping to Apollo's perfect lyre. Apollo, insulted, transforms Midas's ears into those of a donkey, long and furry. Midas hides them under a turban. Only his barber knows the truth. The barber, unable to bear the burden of keeping a god's secret, goes to a field, digs a hole and whispers into it, "King Midas has donkey ears." He covers the hole and returns home relieved. Reeds grow from the spot. When the wind blows, the reeds whisper, "Midas has donkey ears." The secret spreads on the breeze. Midas cannot punish the reeds or the wind. He must laugh and accept his folly. Dionysus observes this from afar and chuckles. In his realm, truth flows like wine. Once poured, it cannot be returned to the cup. The story travels with traveling singers, and mortals learn to be wary when choosing between gods. In Thebes, whispers of Pentheus's fate travel similarly. The moral resonates. Arrogance often leads to humiliating revelations. The ears on Midas's head are as much a lesson as his golden touch. Dionysus is not directly involved in this punishment, but his narrative thread runs through it. A god who teaches mortals to laugh at themselves, to recognize folly, and to accept that secrets, especially those involving gods, have a way of singing themselves into reeds. As Dionysus's Thyasos matures, some initiates whisper of a deeper myth, a darker origin. They speak of a child called Zagreus, born of Persephone and Zeus, who was torn to pieces by Titans and consumed, only to be reborn from his heart in Semele's womb. In these Orphic stories, Dionysus is the reincarnation of Zagreus, and some claim that humanity arose from the ash left by that crime, which is why humans possess both divine spark and violent urge. Dionysus hears these tales and smiles enigmatically. He neither confirms nor denies them. In this episode, we do not elaborate on the Orphic myth, but we acknowledge its existence, hinting that his nature is even more complex than what has been shown. This whisper allows viewers to sense depth without delving into stories that will be explored in later seasons. The hint serves to enrich his dual identity, not only twice-born, but perhaps thrice-born. The seeds of the Orphic mysteries are planted here for future episodes, inviting the audience to question the nature of identity and rebirth. Dionysus remains a god of many faces, and some of his faces are hidden beneath veils woven by other cults. His followers are encouraged to seek knowledge, but also to respect secrets. The Orphic song is a background hum, adding layers to the tapestry without disrupting the current narrative. Dionysus sits beneath a plane tree near a quiet riverbank. He contemplates the paradoxes of his existence. He is at once child and father, Greek and foreign, gentle and violent. When he pours wine, he invites communion. When he sends madness, he enforces respect. He belongs to the mountains of Thrace and to the sacred clearings where drama will one day be born. He is loved by those who seek release from grief, toil, or restraint. He is both the laughing boy who plays with satyrs and the judge who turns kings into serpents. Later singers would place him in Far Eastern lands and adorn his progress with beasts and drums, but our song leaves those wanderings in rumor. He stands with Pan, the goat god, watching fields at dusk. Pan laughs and speaks only of trials still hidden. Dionysus listens and senses that the peace of Olympus will not endure forever. He knows that his dual nature belongs to the god he is, one who thrives at the edges of categories, who unites opposites, and who invites mortals to face their own contradictions. In that stillness, the world he rules appears as rich and unpredictable as wine, and as dangerous as unbridled passion. Dionysus smiles, picks up his thyrsus, and walks on. Later singers would place Dionysus in distant eastern lands and adorn his progress with beasts, drums, and marvels. Our song leaves those wanderings in rumor and turns again toward Greece. On his journey back, he stops in Arcadia, where Pan leaps from rock to rock, his pipes echoing through hills. Pan shares a troubling dream of fire, many heads, and a sky darkened by wings. Dionysus keeps the warning in silence. They know only that such a terror will one day rise, and the means of facing it remain hidden even from them. The warning remains with them, an omen carried forward into trials still to come. Dionysus continues his journey, leaving laughter and order in his wake, while knowing that a storm is brewing beneath Etna. The world he returns to will need not only wine, but cunning and courage. In the final scene, Dionysus stands on the slopes of Mount Etna in Sicily. The ground trembles beneath his sandals. The sky is clear, but the air smells of sulfur. He kneels and presses his hand to the earth. He hears murmurs, the muted voice of Gaia humming deep below, a mother wounded by the fate of her children. He closes his eyes and sees flickers of a creature with dragon bodies, with wings that blot out the sun, with serpents for legs. He senses that Zeus and all the gods will be tested, but the shape of that struggle is unclear. He opens his eyes. One thing is clear, the final threat of the primordial era, Typhon, is stirring. Dionysus picks a single grape from a wild vine growing through lava rock. He eats it, savoring the sweetness cut with bitterness. For every feast, a famine, he murmurs. For every dance, a silence. For every vine, a root in darkness. He turns and walks away from the mountain, back toward Olympus. In Thebes, farmers prune vines and speak of the god who brought both joy and tragedy. In Eleusis, initiates whisper his epithets in the dark. On Olympus, the gods dine with their new companion. Beneath the earth, Gaia begins to move. The seeds of the next story are planted. They will sprout in fire and ash. Dionysus smiles. He knows another kind of madness is coming, one he cannot control. The episode ends with the distant rumble of Etna and the hum of bees over grape blossoms. The god of invasion has set the stage. Something ancient is stirring, and its hour will come. The saga of Dionysus is a tapestry woven from contradictions. Born from mortal and divine, hidden in a mountain, suckled by a goat, raised by nymphs and blessed by bees, he emerges as a god who embodies both tenderness and terror. He punishes kings who deny a god his due and blesses those who open their hearts. Through him, wine flows not just as a drink, but as a sacrament that loosens what mortals try too tightly to bind. His story shows that ecstasy and agony, order and madness, do not remain cleanly apart. Thebes learns that a city which denies a god his due invites catastrophe, while those who heed the god may be transformed. The elders' acceptance, the Maenads' release, and Pentheus' ruin reveal what follows piety and what follows refusal. Dionysus' legacy extends beyond revelry. He rescues his mother from death, takes his place among the Olympians, marries an abandoned princess, intersects with Eleusinian hope, and gifts humanity the art of theatre. Rumors of far wanderings widen his aura, while his contemplation reveals the paradox at the heart of his nature. The hints of Orphic myths plant seeds for mysteries yet untold, while the shadows he encountered in the underworld stir deeper questions. By the episode's end, we see that joy and sorrow are seeds of the same vine. But vines must grow over graves as well as feasting halls. Dionysus invites us to drink deeply, to dance boldly, and to remember that to refuse a god's due can be as deadly as any monster. Yet as we savor the sweetness of his wine, another realm calls, one where vines do not grow and light barely reaches. Beneath the earth, judges await, ferrymen drift, and souls wander. There lies a kingdom not of ecstasy, but of reckoning. The divine invasion is complete. Now the gates of Hades open, the next story begins. Subscribe for more epic journeys. Visit myth2myth.com and discover all our products.